Jonathan Maley and Don Good from the ImageTech Systems team. Today we're going to be talking about the CARES Act and the Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, and more specifically our pre-built solution for PPP loan processing. This is built using the Kofax Intelligent Automation platform, namely robotic process automation and Kofax Total Agility components. So most folks that are watching this recording are already going to be familiar with the CARES Act and the mechanics of the PPP loan program. So given the urgent nature of this particular loan fulfillment program, we wanted to come up with a pre-built PPP loan processing solution for both existing and new Kofax customers. This is really geared towards banks and credit unions and fintech companies that are authorized to do SBA PPP lending. You can get more information about the solution from your Kofax account executive by contacting ImageTech or by going directly to the solution page on Kofax Smart Hub. So the URL is here, but the fastest way is probably to go to smarthub.kofax.com and just search on PPP. That'll take you directly to this page where we have some high-level information, screenshots of the solution itself, and a button where you can request information. Somebody will get back to you right away. With that, I want to pass to you, Don. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. You can start sharing yours. Kind of step us through the high-level solution diagram and demos of the individual pieces.
All right,
I see your screen.
Perfect. All right, thanks, John. So I am going to initiate our PPP loan process here by submitting my application, my filled out application to my Bankrite PPP. So let me go ahead and send that so things get started. And while that's kind of kicking off, I will kind of give an overview of what we're going to look at for the demo. We are showcasing, as John mentioned, Kofax RPA, Kofax Total Agility. In this scenario, we're using RPA to kind of collect and validate the incoming applications. It's going to extract data from it. It's going to evaluate whether that data is valid and can be kind of accepted as is to kick off any downstream business process, or does the user need to get involved to validate that data? And in our demo, the user does need to get involved, so we'll see that. And with that data, with the application that RPA collects, if you have an internal, as a bank, if you already have an application or an internal loan process, RPA can kick off that process, and I'll demonstrate that. RPA has the ability to kind of transfer information from the Kofax system, to any number of external systems, whether they're web-based, if they're legacy Windows applications that you can't integrate with directly because there's no API. All those are options. But in our case, we're going to showcase the triggering of a case in Kofax Total Agility. So the application will be received, and by case, it's really a framework to manage the receipt and review of all the required documentation for the PPP loan. So we'll see here, we're going to receive the application, the case is going to be started, it's going to be assigned to a loan reviewer, and that review process is really just this loop here. It's an iteration of communicating with the customer that we need more documents to support your loan request. And then, of course, the applicant submitting those documents and the system automatically kind of tracking and managing that process until the loan processor says, yep, I've got everything I need. This loan packet's complete. Let me go ahead and advance it to the next step. So for our demo, it's a real simple kind of loan approval, accept or approve or reject. And of course, emails and communications with the customer. And we'll also kind of demonstrate, as part of that same process, much like Kofax RPA can transfer data to external systems, so too can Total Agility. We're actually using RPA in this demo as well to demonstrate the same type of integration. So we'll see this here at the tail end. So if I flip over to my email here, I'm a Bankrite employee, and I get this notification that, hey, somebody submitted an application, but it requires some attention. So I've received the application. I'm just going to click the link that it constructed, and that will launch the Kofax Thin Client transformation Thin Client validation, where once it loads, I see of course, the application here, and this red portion is what it's not entirely confident of. So we notice the red here and the fields over here we have. This is the extracted information from the application. It's red, it's not confident. So it's not entirely sure that if the user selected, the applicant selected that this is for a lease or mortgage interest. So I'll need to attend to that. I'll need to validate that field, but before I do, quickly wanna just kind of show RPA is extracted, a bunch of the yes, no checkboxes, but also the owner. You know, there's an owner table here. We've collected the details in this table, and we have a separate tab, subset of all the questions. So this form has a lot of yes, no checkboxes. So that we can kind of advance this, I'm just going to say, nope, they do not want this for a lease, and I'm going to close the batch. So at this point, we have a validated application. And what we're looking at now is the Total Agility Workspace for Bankrite. So this is the interface for the case processing here. What we're looking at is basically an empty list of cases, but if I'm patient or I refresh, not quite yet. There we go. We'll notice now that I have one PPP loan application. So when I click this particular application, we've got our main case details page here. So quickly reviewing what this is, we've got 23 hours to complete this loan process. Of course, all these SLAs and due dates are fully configurable within the system. And we can, some of that status in terms of SLAs and time spent working the case, how long the case has been open, that type of information is tracked, as well as kind of the case reference number, what type of case, etc. But here we have our first activity that is assigned to me that needs to be taken on this case. So if we had multiple activities, they would all be listed here, and whatever I have access to or whatever I'm responsible for completing, I would see in this list. So as a loan reviewer, I'm going to take this activity. And this form loads where we're exposing some high-level information. This is James Vanderlei, wants a loan for $810,000. We also have in here our list of documents that have been received so far. So right now, of course, we only have the application. So as we kind of continue the process here, we'll see this list build. But we've also included kind of a checklist here. It's just a subset of the list of required documents. It's kind of a way for the people involved with this process to kind of maybe communicate, I've received these and these are all complete. I've got my ID, or maybe I have all the tax filings I need. I can attach a note to communicate, to attach to the case as well, to this particular document. So I just know I need to request more documents from the applicant. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, which triggered, if I flip over to my email here, bear with me. Okay. So now as the applicant, I receive a notification that, hey, your loan application is in progress. We need more documentation. some instructions here. You'll notice we've included the list of required documents, the types of things they need to provide. Of course, this email can be fully customizable, can be customized by the loan reviewer at the time that they say they need more documents to construct it that way. For this demo, we just generate this kind of generic email. The idea is they can use this, they can reply to this correspondence with some additional documentation. So I'm going to attach a couple of tax returns and 1099. Here's some docs. I'm going to reply. So what's happening behind the scenes is Total Agility is kind of monitoring for incoming documents to attach to this case. Take this opportunity to kind of point out that for this demo, email is our channel exclusively for that, for the submission of documents. But Total Agility is a multi-capture platform. So we could attach documents that come in through say a customer's facing portal, mobile application, or maybe these are received by paper. They need to be scanned. All that can be done through KTA and married up to the active case. But quickly, want to kind of go through some of these links on the side here. We'll give the system a little bit of time to do its thing for collecting those documents. We're here at the case details page. KTA kind of maintains an entire audit trail or history of the entire case, tracks milestones, can notify when SLAs, when you're getting close, when you've exceeded those SLAs. But one of the really nice features is this view job. So this kind of gives us a graphical representation of where the process is. Where are we at? What's the history and what's the current step? We can see here we've gone through the loan processor assignment. Email went out to the applicant. We've requested documents. We waited for documents. And now we're back to the loan review step. Had I come in here a bit earlier, we would have been sitting on the wait for documents step in an in-progress state. We've already received those, so now we're back to the loan review step. So if I refresh my activity list here, and again, I'm still the loan reviewer, applicant has submitted some more documents. Let's take a look. Okay, now we have our list. So there's the actual email, and here are the attachments. My 1099, an IRS form 941, and the likes. Just real quick, there's the ability to kind of reclassify some of these documents if necessary, to kind of maybe organize these documents a little bit better. So this process would continue. I need more documents, or no, I'm good. So I'm going to move along with the demo and say we've received all the documents we need for this loan. Now you'll notice for this case, we've come to the loan approval step. So again, I'm taking this as the same person. Real world, you probably have different roles to do the loan review, to do the approving. Absolutely possible within KTA, to assign certain steps to certain individuals or groups. But here I just have a read-only view of the form. I have access to all the documents. I'm not very thorough, so I'm just going to say, yeah, this is good. I'm going to approve this. Before I do, though, I just also want to mention that, this is very much like the review form, but it's in here where we could expose maybe another ad hoc or some other process needs to be done that's special for this loan. Maybe it's we want to do a fraud review or a credit check. We could initiate that here. We could incorporate that as an automatic process at any point in the case. So after the loan review is done, maybe it automatically kicks off some sort of fraud or credit check or you name it. But those can be either done by the system or initiated from our form here. So I'm just going to approve. So at this point, the case has been we're done. We're done processing this. All the documents have been received for the loan. And what we're seeing here is RPA is going to log into what I'm calling Bankwright 360. It is our fictitious internal banking system. It's going to log in. We'll see it pass data across the information, some case information that we've collected. We populate this form and we save the data. So that all happened very quickly, but the idea is we can take the data that was collected in RPA, KTA, and integrate with, this was an example of like a desktop application, but there's other ways to integrate with systems, whether that's a web page. I know the eTran system, SBA's system is web-based, could interact with that website, hand off the data, whatever they need to kind of accept the completed loan, or any other type of application. If it's, direct integration using APIs, or there's a certain format for upload, all that can be handled as part of this process as well. So John, I think I've touched on the major things that I wanted to, and I believe I'm done. So thank you.
Great job. Thanks, Don. And have a great day.
All right, you too.